Alright, so the holder, as you can see, looks very different than the last time I posted a video. I have it strapped down to this pallet because I brought it to work with me, which is where we are now. And pretty much have a lot of it stripped. A lot of stuff that still needs to be taken off of it and cleaned up. I've been blasting some stuff in the blast cabinet over here. Actually, one of the pieces here. So you can see how that's gonna, well, how it is turning out. Gotta clean it up a little, it's still a little dirty. That actually originally went here. So anyway, a lot of this is gonna get sandblasted. The tractor itself, the main body, most likely is not, just because if you've sandblasted before, you know that, especially doing a tractor, anything with a gear case and all is kind of a pain in the butt, especially when you don't want to remove everything. You really don't want blast media between gears and things like that, or bushings or anything, so I'm probably not going to do that. Probably just hit it with a wire brush and all and clean up best I can. Anyway, a lot of these other pieces still need to come off, but I strapped it down to the pallet so it's easy to move between my shop and the shop at work here. I have a nice big bin right here. It's got some smaller miscellaneous parts in it and some other parts sitting on top of it, as you can see. But one of the most important things is when the engine was pulled off of the tractor, obviously the engine's not there. When the engine was pulled off, we discovered that the reason the clutch wasn't working is because pressure plate was destroyed. This is exactly how it was pulled out. There's supposed to be another finger here that comes out, and there's supposed to be a little disc mounted to it that the throwout bearing pushes on. And you could see how uneven it is because it's broken in more spots than one. It was very difficult to try and source a pressure plate for this, despite even having all the markings on it and all, and being able to cross-reference and everything. It was very difficult. So I ended up finding two sources, actually. Apparently these were used in some BMW Isettas, which if you don't know what a BMW Isetta is, look it up because it's a very interesting little car. I mean, it is tiny, and actually the door to get into it is the front of the car. It's smaller than a smart car. You'll see. If you don't know what it is, look it up. But anyway, so I was able to source these 9-spring clutches from them. I did find some where I could get them. They'll have to be shipped here from overseas, which is fine. But in the meantime, I did a little research, and this is a 160 millimeter pressure plate. So, because I couldn't find anybody talking about replacements for these, I went ahead on my own, and I kind of took a little bit of a risk, and I bought this pressure plate, which is for a Daihatsu car. I actually had this shipped to me from Cyprus, and the interesting thing is, when I contacted Holder Germany about this tractor, they said, yes, we could get you a pressure plate, this replacement one, but without shipping, it's gonna be about $989 for just this part. So I said, no, I don't wanna do that. So I put my head together and ended up finding this brand new for, like I said, a Daihatsu. It's actually, in my opinion, this is better because it doesn't have that crappy finger design where they break and have all sorts of faults. In fact, most of these for Isettas, in the ads for them where people had used ones, they said may need repair because it's a really faulty design. So I ended up getting this one, which is a more modern design, as you can see with the fingers. It's 160 millimeters, same size. The clutch disc actually lines up perfectly with it. And I couldn't tell the bolt pattern from the pictures, but it looked to me like 6 holes that were evenly spaced, which is exactly what this is. And if you put them on top of each other, they actually line up completely. You won't be able to see that in the video really, but they line up completely, all the mounting holes. So it should be a direct replacement. So that's the good news. Oh, and this cost me about, with shipping from Cyprus, under $60. So I'd say that's a home run right there. And like I said, it's a modern design, so we're not gonna have that problem where the fingers are breaking and jumping around inside of it. But anyway, that aside, this is where we're at with it. This is extremely heavy. As tiny as it is, this is unbelievably heavy, which is good. But yeah, so I've been going in the gear case. The front gear case housing needs a lot of work. Mainly just cleaning work, but something very interesting is this big hole right here actually was open. So this is all covered. You have the engine here, the starter comes out here, and there's a bunch of stuff that goes over this. So you can't see this when it's assembled. The problem is there was a mouse nest, as there usually is with any crevice on a machine. So a lot of crap fell in there. I vacuumed most of it out. I still have to clean this all up in here. There's a little surface rust on some of this stuff. But what I was getting at is this hole right here was actually a massive casting plug. Similar to, people call them freeze plugs. The proper term is casting plug, but you see them in the sides of engines. Well, this had a huge one in here. Problem is it rotted through. So it rusted real bad and then rotted and fell apart into the casing in here. Now all the gears, everything looks fine, everything turns okay, but it just needs a nice deep cleaning. And my front diff lock pedal, which actually mounts on the side over here, right down here, there's a little pedal, a little arm that comes off here with a little round pedal. And you step on that and it turns this shaft, which engages the diff lock in here. I don't know if it's free yet or not, but we'll see. I think it might be a little seized up just from surface rust and all. So we'll see what happens. We might have to drive that out and clean it up a little, but that's expected with a decent amount of stuff on here. But other than that, everything looks pretty good. And like I said, everything spins okay in here. All the gears look good. Everything front to back, works good. So give it a nice deep cleaning, lubricate it, seal it all back up, get it painted. Some smaller parts, some linkages and all still need to come off and be painted. But other than that, yeah, it's getting there. Definitely getting there. And I got it set up so I could bring it back and forth between my shop and my shop here at work. So I should be able to make some headway on it soon. We'll update you more as we go.